Bardella joins us now. He's a former senior advisor for the House Oversight Committee and a senior advisor of the Lincoln Project. He's also a columnist for USA Today and the LA Times and plugged into the country music scene as publisher of the extremely influential Morning Hangover newsletter out of Nashville. You know, Kurt, we were talking about this yesterday. Lady Gaga, she sings for Joe Biden's inauguration. That's all good for her fans. Same with J-Lo. Garth Brooks, it's a little bit trickier. It's not hard to predict, but of course his Facebook fan page getting deluged by people comparing him to the Dixie Chicks, saying they're never going to buy another record of his again, that he's a traitor, blah, 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 blah. Garth Brooks could have easily skipped this, you said, but he thought it was important to be there. Tell me why.
No, I think, Joe, so many people associate country music and politics with that Dixie Chicks episode from 2003. And, you know, they spoke out against the Iraq War, were kind of blacklisted from country music. And from that point forward, there's always been this hesitancy and fear from country music artists to get engaged in politics and societal issues anyway for fear of the professional backlash. But here you have the format's biggest star, the most successful selling solo male artist in the history of music, get asked to perform at the Biden inauguration, and rather than let that fear dictate his decision-making, rather than worrying about the backlash and what it could mean for his career going forward, Garth answered the call and felt that it was so important to be there for this American moment, to partake in that, to have that representation of the country music community on that stage with the incoming president, Joe Biden, that he said, to hell with the haters, to hell with being afraid, I'm going to be there. And whatever happens after that happens, whether his career somehow disappears, it's something that he can live with, because we are in a moment in time where we have to move beyond some of these petty differences. We have to come together. And I think that the message of President Biden's unity and healing was something that spoke very directly to Garth. And, you know, I spent the last couple of days talking to people in his camp and hearing about how they were trying to make this decision and taking into account all the things that you just talked about. And at the end of the day, it just came down to this was a moment of history, a piece of America, and he wasn't going to miss being on that stage, having that unique opportunity, because to Garth, music is the ultimate heal. And his music has been about healing and togetherness and community. And I think that, you know, no matter what happens after this, he will never regret being on that stage for this moment, just 2 weeks removed from the Capitol siege. I think it meant a great deal to him. And if his career goes away after that, which I don't think it will, by the way, but if it does, he can live with that.